The Mirror of the Soul, a Zen story about self-respect. In the misty mountains of the north, where cherry trees bloom even in winter, there was an ancient monastery known as the Temple of the Inner Mirror. There lived Master Kenji, whose reputation was not based on eloquent teachings, but on his ability to help people rediscover something many had lost along life's path: respect for themselves. This is the story of Yuki, a young potter whose hands created vessels of extraordinary beauty, yet whose heart was cracked like poorly fired clay. Through 8 encounters with Master Kenji, Yuki would discover that self-respect is not a destination, but a path walked step by step, like the stones of a Zen garden. If you've ever felt that you give more than you receive, if you've stayed silent when you should have spoken, or betrayed your own values to please others, this story is for you. Because learning to respect yourself is not an act of selfishness. It is the foundation upon which an authentic and fulfilling life is built. Chapter 1. The Broken Vessel. Yuki arrived at the temple at dawn, when the mist still embraced the mountains. In her hands, she carried a perfectly crafted vessel, an offering for Master Kenji. As she knelt before him, the vessel slipped from her trembling hands and shattered into 1,000 pieces upon the stone floor. "Forgive me, Master," Yuki sobbed. "I'm so clumsy, so useless. I spent 3 weeks creating this piece, and I destroyed it in an instant." Master Kenji looked at the scattered fragments, then at Yuki with calm eyes. "Why do you apologize to me?" he asked. "I haven't lost anything. You are the one who worked for 3 weeks. Yet you apologize to me before even mourning your own lost effort." Yuki remained silent, confused. "This broken vessel is your first lesson," the master continued. "Each fragment represents a part of you that you've given away while apologizing for existing. Pick them up one by one, and with each piece, ask yourself, whom do I owe more respect? To others or to myself?" Yuki spent the rest of the day gathering the fragments, and with each piece, a tear rolled down her cheek. Chapter 2. The Empty Bowl. The next morning, Master Kenji handed Yuki an empty bowl. "Fill this bowl with water from the well," he instructed. "But before that, give it filled to anyone in the temple who asks for it." Yuki took the bowl and set out toward the well. On her way, a monk asked her for water for his plants. Yuki filled the bowl and handed it to him. Later, an old woman asked for water to cook. Again, Yuki filled it and gave it away. This continued throughout the day. Every time she filled the bowl, someone asked for it, and she gave it without hesitation. At sunset, she returned to the master with the bowl empty. "I couldn't complete the task, Master. Every time I filled the bowl, someone asked for it." "And why did you give it to them?" asked Kenji. "Because they needed it," Yuki replied. "And didn't you need to complete your own task?" The master smiled. "Yuki, an empty bowl cannot nourish anyone, not even yourself. Respecting yourself means knowing when to say no, even when others need you. Try again tomorrow. But this time, remember, your bowl also deserves to be full." Chapter 3. The Stone Garden. On the 3rd day, Master Kenji took Yuki to the temple's Zen garden. "Each stone in this garden was placed intentionally," he explained. "None is here by accident or because another stone decided its place. Each occupies the space it deserves." He handed Yuki a new stone. "Find the perfect place for this stone in the garden." Yuki walked for hours trying different spots, but every time she found a good place, she thought, maybe this stone would look better elsewhere, or I don't want to disturb the harmony that already exists. By sunset, she hadn't placed the stone anywhere. "I couldn't decide, Master. Every time I found a place, I felt the stone would be intrusive or not good enough for that space." The master took the stone from her hands and firmly placed it in the center of the garden. "This stone has as much right to be here as any other," he said. "You, too, have the right to occupy your space in the world, Yuki. Respecting yourself means not apologizing for existing, for having needs, for being visible. You are not an intruder in your own life." Yuki gazed at the stone in the center of the garden. For the first time, something stirred within her. Chapter 4: The Clouded Mirror. On the fourth day, the master led Yuki into a room with an ancient bronze mirror, completely clouded. "Look at yourself," he said. Yuki peered into the mirror but saw only a blurry silhouette. "I can't see myself clearly, master." "Exactly. Now clean the mirror." Yuki took a cloth and began to wipe it. With each stroke, her reflection became clearer. But just before she finished, she stopped. "Why do you stop?" asked Kenji. "I'm not sure I want to see my full reflection," Yuki admitted softly. "What if I don't like what I see?" The master gently finished cleaning the mirror. Many people live with clouded mirrors because they're afraid to see themselves clearly. But self-respect begins with truth. You cannot respect someone you do not know, not even if that person is yourself. Yuki finally looked into the clean mirror. She saw a woman with tired eyes, premature lines of worry, but also strong, capable hands. "Self-respect," said the master, "is looking at yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a dear friend, not with judgment, but with truth and love." Chapter 5: The Voice of the Bamboo. During their fifth meeting, Master Kenji and Yuki walked through a bamboo forest. The wind blew strongly, making the bamboo bend and creak. "Listen," said the master. "What do you hear?" "I hear the wind moving the bamboo," Yuki replied. "Yes, but listen deeper. The bamboo makes sound. It sings its own song." Yuki closed her eyes and listened. It was true. Each bamboo produced a unique sound as it swayed in the wind. "The bamboo doesn't stay silent before the wind," explained Kenji. "It doesn't apologize for making noise. It expresses its nature." "Yuki, when was the last time you expressed your truth without apologizing?" Yuki thought for a long moment, a lump forming in her throat. "I don't remember, master. I'm always afraid of bothering others, of being too much, of saying the wrong thing." "The flexible bamboo bends but does not break because it stays true to its nature," said the master. "When you constantly silence your voice, you are not being flexible. You are denying yourself. Respecting yourself means allowing your voice to be heard, even if it trembles, even if others disagree." The master handed her a small piece of bamboo carved into a flute. "Practice. Give voice to your inner self." Chapter 6: The Bitter Tea. On the sixth day, Master Kenji prepared tea for Yuki. When she took the first sip, her face twisted. "This tea is bitter, master." "Then why do you keep drinking it?" Kenji asked, watching her. Yuki held the cup, unsure how to respond. Because you prepared it for me. It would be rude not to drink it." The master took the cup from her hands and poured it out into the garden. "For years, you've been drinking the bitter tea others have served you. Relationships that hurt you, jobs that drain you, demands that empty you. And you've done it because you believed respecting yourself meant disrespecting others." He prepared a new cup of tea, this time fragrant and sweet, and handed it to her. True self-respect is knowing when to stop drinking what poisons you. You don't have to finish every cup served to you. You don't have to stay in situations that harm you out of loyalty, obligation, or habit. Yuki drank the new tea, and for the first time in a long while, she tasted something that truly nourished her. "But master, isn't it selfish to put myself first?" "Responding isn't selfish, Yuki. It's survival. A tree that refuses water for fear of being selfish will soon have no shade to offer anyone. Chapter 7: The Trial by Fire. In their seventh encounter, the master led Yuki to the kiln where pottery was fired. "Today you will make a new vessel," he said, "but on one condition. You must make it exactly as you wish, without thinking of what I or anyone else would expect." Yuki sat at the wheel with fresh clay. Her hands, so used to creating what others desired, trembled with uncertainty. For hours she worked, destroying and reshaping the piece again and again. Finally, at dusk, she finished a vessel. It was not perfectly symmetrical. It had an uneven texture and an unconventional shape, but it was beautiful in its authenticity. "It's ready for the fire," said the master. They placed the vessel in the kiln. All night, the fire transformed it. "Fire is like life's trials," Kenji explained as they waited. "When you respect yourself, you don't avoid the fire. You pass through it, knowing that what is genuine within you will emerge stronger, not destroyed." The next day, they removed the vessel from the kiln. It had survived bright and solid. "This vessel is strong because it is true," said the master. "When you create from your authenticity, from respect for who you truly are, the fire strengthens you instead of destroying you." Yuki held her creation, tears filling her eyes. For the first time, she did not apologize for what she had made. Chapter 8: The Mirror of the Soul. On her 8th and final day at the temple, Yuki returned to the mirror room. But this time, the mirror was covered with a veil. "Master, why is it covered?" "Because today you will not look into the bronze mirror," Kenji replied. "You will look into the mirror of the soul." He handed her a brush and ink. "Write a letter, but not to me, nor to your family, nor to anyone you know. Write to the Yuki of 1 year ago. Tell her what you've learned about self-respect." Yuki sat down and began to write. Her words flowed like spring water. "Dear Yuki, I know that right now you feel small, invisible, as if your worth depends on how much you can give to others. But I've learned something essential. Respecting yourself is not a luxury. It's a necessity. I've learned that you are not a broken vessel that must apologize for its cracks. You are human, whole just as you are. I've learned that your bowl also deserves to be full, that you cannot nourish the world from emptiness. I've learned that you rightfully occupy your space, like every stone in the Zen garden. I've learned to clean the mirror and look at myself with compassion, not judgment. I've learned that your voice deserves to be heard, like the song of bamboo in the wind. I've learned to stop drinking the bitter tea others serve me. And I've learned that the fire of life will not destroy me if I remain faithful to who I am. Self-respect is not a destination. It's a path I will walk each day. Some days I will stumble, but now I know I deserve to rise again. Not because I'm perfect, but because I'm human, and that is enough. With love and respect." Yuki. When she finished, Master Kenji lifted the veil from the mirror. Yuki looked at herself, and for the first time, she saw herself whole. Not perfect, but whole. "The mirror of the soul," said the master, "does not reflect your appearance. It reflects your relationship with yourself. When you respect yourself, everything else finds its place." Yuki bowed before the master and, for the first time, did not apologize. She simply said, "Thank you, Master. I have learned that respecting myself is the first step to living with integrity." The master smiled. "Now you are like bamboo, flexible yet unbreakable. The wind of life will keep blowing, but your voice will never again be silent. Go and live from that respect. It is the greatest gift you can give yourself." Yuki descended the mountain, carrying her authentic vessel in her hands and the mirror of the soul in her heart, ready to begin her life honoring the most important truth she had learned: that she, too, deserved her own respect, her own compassion, her own love. Epilogue. Years passed. Yuki became a respected master potter, not only for the beauty of her creations, but for something deeper. Each vessel she made bore the mark of her authenticity. Her pieces were imperfect, unique, honest. Many came to ask her the secret of her art. She always answered with a smile, "I don't make perfect vessels. I make true ones." And I've learned the same applies to life. You don't need to be perfect to deserve respect. You just need to be real. In her workshop, beside her wheel, hung a small bronze mirror, always clean. Beneath it, a phrase written in her own hand: "Self-respect is not selfishness. It is the fertile ground where everything else grows." And every morning, before beginning her work, Yuki looked into that mirror and reminded herself, "I deserve my own respect, today and every day." The end. Final reflection. This story reminds us that self-respect is not a single act but a daily practice. It is learning to fill ourselves before we pour into others. It is claiming our space without apology. It is looking at ourselves with truth and compassion. It is giving voice to our inner self. It is stopping the drinking of what poisons us. It is walking through the fire with authenticity. And it is cultivating an inner dialogue rooted in love, not criticism. Self-respect is the foundation upon which we build meaningful lives, healthy relationships, and a more compassionate world. For only when we truly respect ourselves can we respect others, from a place of wholeness, not emptiness.